Okay, what's good, y'all? We are back with Sip and Speak sessions. We now got our girl Nay in the building. It's been a minute, but she
Yeah,
is
I'm back.
back like she never left. And then, of course, we are back with Victoria. So today we're going to be talking about co-parenting since we got the two parents on the call. So what I was thinking about kind of opening up the conversation of co-parenting is what is your personal experience co-parenting? How did it start? How is it now? Has it improved or did it go the opposite way? Did it get worse?
I know for me, the beginning of my co-parenting, it started off pretty decent. It started off okay. There were little things that I would notice that wasn't, but we were still making it work. So it was cool. It wasn't until like the separation happened that the difficulties happened. And I'm glad to say that things are a little bit better. I'm not even gonna say a little bit, they're a lot better now. But
Mhm.
there's still things that, can be improved. It's been a struggle, it still is a struggle, but as long as for me, as long as I keep my head straight and I focus on what I need to do as a mother, and it's not so much as, oh, this parent isn't doing this parent isn't doing that. It's what am I doing? So that's what makes co-parenting for me easier.
Yeah, you putting your best foot forward,
Yeah, then
essentially, because you can't be responsible for the other parent. They either gonna step up or they not.
and that's it. You can't make someone be a parent. You can't make them participate in these things. So it's like you, at the end of the day, you have to focus on you, your child, and do the best that you can. And like we touched on earlier with the village, how your village.
Mhm. Speak on that again since we just got on. Tell them what you meant about like the the whole topic surrounding what is co-parenting, like defining it.
Okay, so my experience with co-parenting is there is no co-parenting in my opinion. Um, it's to me, well, on my end, I try to co-parent. I try to communicate. I try to discuss the problems and try to come up with solutions on how to fix the problems. But from the other end, it's more of a dictatorship. Like this is what's gonna happen. This is what's gonna happen. This is what's not gonna happen, and only you and I are allowed to deal with it. You know, nobody else is allowed to be a part of this situation because it's not anybody else's child. It's our our child, and no one else should have an input. And my thing is the way I
What's
grew up.
click? Hold on. What's clicking? Or getting
Uh,
some getting shuffled?
you know,
I know I heard it too.
Okay. I was like, I thought it was just me, but I heard it. Okay, go ahead.
I was saying, um, my thing is when I grew up, I had aunts, uncles, uh, you know, I had people around. My mom, it wasn't just my mom raising me. You know what I mean? My mom didn't have to deal with the co-parenting because my dad wasn't around. My mom was literally a single parent, but she had other people, other adults to help her raise us. You see what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I feel like with co-parenting, it's not just about the two parents. It's co-parenting is anybody who's parenting your child. Anybody who's dealing with your child should be, y'all should all be on the same page. Because my thing is my child isn't just with me. It isn't just with her dad. My child is with me. She's with her dad. She's with her grandparents. She's with all these other adults. And all the adults in her life need to be on the same page so that she understands that she can't act any old kind of way. You see what I'm saying? If she
Mhm.
goes to her dad's house, she needs to know that when she's at her dad's house, she needs to act a certain way. And when she's at her mom's house is gonna have the same rules. Same thing with her grandparents' house. You see what I'm saying? Like all the adults in life need to be aware of what's going on. So that way, if they are ever in a situation where she's with them, they have, the right to say, don't do that. You see what I'm
So it's
saying?
not, and it's so just a disclaimer because some people would take that and go left. It's not like you're saying you want to tell people how to run their household. It's more so y'all just trying to get on the same page of how to raise her and the knowledge you've given her and telling her what's the right thing to do and what's not.
Exactly.
In terms of where she's at right now at her age.
And
Exactly.
it's to have the foundation, because if my daughter's with you and
Mm-hmm.
you're doing it completely different from the way that I do it, when she comes back home to me, it's not going to be the same.
Right.
Exactly.
They'll be in that mentality of, oh, at TT Lex's house, I can do this and I can get away with this and that. And over here at Uncle House, I can, and it's throwing that balance off. So, because I know for me, I have everybody in my village on the same page with my daughter. She watches these shows, she do these things, she do it at these times, keep her on this schedule. She's potty training at this time, she does this at this time. Everybody's on board. It runs so smooth. So smooth. It have to
I
have
like
that
that.
through everyone. Through
I
everyone.
like that.
You have to have
And
that.
also too, I think when it comes to parenting, I feel like a lot of people who have multiple kids with people who have only one child, they feel like they know more.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel like they can tell you what's right and what's wrong. And it's like, no.
Every child's different.
Just because you have, another kid doesn't necessarily mean you're better parenting than me. It doesn't mean you know more than me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not fair because just because you're a little older and you do have a little advantage because you have raised a child before, but you raised your child way different than this one, because with the first child you didn't have to co-parent. You see what I'm saying? You didn't have to co-parent with the other person, the other side.
It just falls on him.
So I feel like when it comes to that, a lot of people need to be when it comes to co-parenting, I just feel like a lot of people need to be more open-minded, And when I say open-minded, I mean open-minded to other people's advice.
Yeah.
Even other people's opinions. You can listen to other people's opinions and then take based off what they say. You can run with that and use that information to your best knowledge. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying disregard what they say just because you don't agree. You can have your opinion. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to do it just because you say it's the right way to do it.
You
see
feel
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just because something worked out for your first child doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the same for this one.
Exactly, especially because every child is different. You can't raise your oldest child the same way you're raising your middle child, the same way you're raising your youngest child. We all have different personalities. We all are going to go with different things. You could be yelling and beating your first child, but your middle child, you can just talk to calmly and be like, baby, just go do this. They'll do it. Your third child,
you can have another child where a whooping ain't gonna do shit. So it's like, okay, so find another approach. Everything's not the same.
That's crazy because that's literally like the dynamic of me, my older brother, and my younger brother. You know what I'm saying? With my mom and my older brother, she was in his ass all the time. With me, she was able to talk to me more than having to beat me up. You see what I'm saying? Not beat me up, but you see what I'm saying? Like discipline me, like whoopings and whatnot. With my little brother, that didn't work for him. Whoopings, that was nothing. He was the child that instead of no, you're good. Instead of getting whooping, she just took all his stuff from him. Y'all looking for the cat? Oh yeah, he's not in here. They looking for the cat. She can't find the cat. He's in the house somewhere. That's funny. But yeah, I just feel like everybody's definition of co-parenting is different, and just because you feel one way and I feel one way, we should be able to take our feelings and be able to come together and meet in the middle. Not, well, this is how I feel and this is what I'm gonna do. So that is what it is what it is. Because then it's like, okay, my child now going to go, well, I can do certain things here and act a certain way here, but I know that when I'm here, I gotta act a certain way here. And no, when you go to either place, you gotta act the same way. And if you don't, you're gonna get disciplined.
Right.
Period.
I can see
And
it.
I don't think it's fair that one child or one parent, holds the child accountable for their actions, their wrongdoings, and the
And
other
the other
the other
doesn't.
side, it feels like, nope, that's nothing. No, that's not something she needs to be punished for. Like, what? What does that teach her?
Yeah, but there's so many examples. Girl, go ahead. Because even some of the primary examples is how, say you got different baby mamas, how one may view like healthcare one way versus another may view it something totally different.
So that's what I'm saying. When you have multiple baby mamas, you still have to be open communicated with both mothers. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You still have to take into consideration, okay, this baby mama wants my son or my daughter to do this, or have this Medicare, or have this insurance, or whatever. You still have to be open to that. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? Just like with the other parent, if this baby mama don't want, for example, this baby mama might like Kaiser, but this baby mama wants Sutter. You have to be open minded.
Or even a more far different scenario too is, what if you got one baby mama that's cool with going to the hospital to deliver a baby versus you got this one over here that's like, I want to give a home birth.
That's
You
when
gotta be open minded to it.
That's when you have to, because at the end of the day, the way I look at it, especially when it comes to birth, let me come back to camera for this one. When it comes to birth, you can have your opinion on how I give birth, but at the end of the day, it's how I want to give birth. I'm the woman.
Exactly.
I'm carrying this baby. It's my comfortability. So
Right.
if I say I want to do this, you do your research. You can ask me your questions. You figure it out. But at the end of the day, the birth stuff like that, that's gonna be me. I ain't too much budging with no
Because at
man.
the end of the day, like you said, it's this is my body, and I want to be in the most comfortable environment and position as possible, because the type of environment you in will determine how your labor goes. If
Mm-hmm.
your labor,
Right.
if your
Yes.
environment is, if your environment levels are high in stress, your labor is gonna be high in stress.
Mm-hmm.
So
If it don't,
if you feel more comfortable being at home because your feng shui and your vibe is calm and peaceful, and you know that the aura there is, your peace zone, then at the end of the day, you got to respect my decision. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be now. At the end of the day, if I'm doing a home birth, I will say this, just to be on a compromising, page. I want to have a home birth, but if it gets to a point where things are getting to a point where I need to go to a hospital, I'm open to going to a hospital.
Yeah.
absolutely.
But I'm not going to just go to a hospital because you're afraid, because you're scared, because you want me to be
You
at the
said you
hospital.
said
That's
the
not happening.
main word. You said the main thing, the compromise, and everything. People don't realize when it comes to co-parenting, you have to compromise. That is something big. I realized that I didn't even really realize that I was in co-parenting, is having to really compromise on a lot of things, because there's so many things that I'm against that I just be not for, but I be finding myself like, okay, I understand this is what my daughter's father, this is something he believes in. This is
Right.
something that I'm like, okay, how can I figure out, like, what can I do? Or sometimes I just like, you got it. Do what make you feel comfortable. Because at the
Right.
same, I'm doing everything that I feel comfortable with my child. I know that. And whether it's me having to argue with him to get my point across, and sometimes I don't realize, like, I'm not hearing him out. I'm not catching his side of it because I feel like I'm mama. I got to say so. And it's not always like that, especially
It's
when you
not always like that. It's
that
not.
is active in that child's life, that father that is a father. I have to catch myself and be like, okay, I can't shut him out like this.
In question, do you think it's because, I wouldn't even say, do you think it's because you're the mom? Do you think it's because you are primarily taking care of your child majority of the time?
Absolutely. That's my problem. Cause I'm like, this baby with me all the time. And I always say that. She's here with me. You can't do this because she's here with me, or you need me there or something because she lives with me. But then it's like, okay, she living with me, yeah. But you are also taking care of your child. You are also active in your child. Like my daughter right now ain't been home for a whole week and a couple days. She been with her daddy. What? And that's not right for me to be like, oh, if anything was even happen over there, I'm like, and she needs to come home. We need to do this. Mama gonna handle it. I wasn't giving him that option to handle nothing. I wouldn't even let him take her to a doctor's appointment.
Right.
And I had to realize that. So now I purposely would be like, I don't want to go. Can you take her? To give him that, like, make him, because he feels more like a father when I do that. I didn't realize before he felt like I was taking him being a father away from him because he wasn't able to go to doctor's appointment or take her to the doctor's appointments by himself. He wasn't able to do things by himself, even though like it was some problems on his end. But at the same time, I still wasn't allowing him to have that freedom as a father. So I had to compromise in that situation to like, you got it. You are her father. You got it.
I feel that. And that's good practice for you though, to be like, you know what? I don't feel like going today. Go. That's good for you too, because that makes you more comfortable.
Absolutely. And it's like my baby, she's literally always with me. Literally. I don't have babysitters for her. I don't call nobody to come watch her. If I can't do nothing because I have her, I just can't do nothing because I'm with my daughter. It's just like that. And so actually learning to step back and allowing him to do stuff, it's giving me the opportunity to, I'm not stuck in the house being just a full-time mommy. I'm able to do something by giving him that to be a father as well.
Giving you a chance to reunite with Nay versus Nay the mom.
Exactly.
Because y'all got different roles, and sometimes I've seen it just coming from the child's perspective when you see your parents lose themselves. But it's like as a kid, you like, I mean, shit, I can't say nothing to them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do I know? But it's like you peep it. That's why I always say parents got to stop thinking that kids don't peep stuff. They peep stuff. I still remember stuff when I was 2.
Everything.
Like 2.
They say I took
crazy.
a child development class, and they say that most children start remembering things between the ages of starting at the ages of 2. A lot of kids will start to remember little bits of pieces of stuff at the age of 2. And I remember, I don't remember that far back, but I remember at least 3 and up. You know what I mean? That I know for sure.
But even then, that's a long time.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of memory. So when you thinking they Google Gaga and stuff over here, they like, oh, okay, noted.
No, they peep energies, they peep arguments, all that.
Exactly. Because it's like they so intuitive because it hasn't been tainted with, but as you get older, it gets tainted with, because sometimes people try to teach you shit and get you further away from self.
Exactly.
Have you noticed that though? And then we always realize when we get later, like in our 20s, we're trying to get back to it.
Yeah. And that's why we always go through the process of trying to get back to our inner child, because we lose that as we get older. Like I was just thinking the other day, like I went deep into my memory. I was like, I ain't thought about stuff like this in a long time, and it gave me that good like uppity feeling, like dang, I felt a piece of my childhood come back. And it's like,
just imagine if you did something that you used to love to do in your childhood.
Getting back to stuff like that, it just, that's what we need right now, is to like heal our inner child. And that even comes back to parenting. It's so crazy because it comes back to parenting.
I agree. So, question: what were the struggles like for y'all
What you mean?
with in terms of co-parenting? What are the struggles?
Just lack of communication, lack of compromising, lack of understanding, lack of all of that. Listening.
I'm surprised you didn't say respect.
Because that's what I was just saying. My biggest issue with
You
co-parenting.
would think that would be my biggest.
I honestly thought that was gonna be like your top 3.
That's my biggest one. That's my top one, and I would put that above anything because that's I would say that's my only issue is the respect, because underneath the respect is the communication and all the other stuff. That right there worked out smooth, cool. But then it's still I'm still noticing now to this day, there's no respect. There's no respect for the timing. There's no respect for your decisions. There's no respect for, like, I don't know. And my baby's father is a freaking narcissist. Narcissist. So it's like that respect. I honestly feel like I would never get the respect that I deserve as his daughter's mother, and not his daughter's mother at that. I don't get that type of respect. I don't get
I'm in the same position as you.
It's so
his
frustrating.
daughter's mother. It's like the way you talk to me. How would you feel if a man talked to your daughter that way? You
like
know what I mean?
You would go off.
Your
like,
daughter sees how you talk to her mom, and most I've heard people say children find partners who remind them of their parents. Girls will find a dude that resembles her father, and dudes will find females that resemble their mother. You see what I'm saying?
Say that one more time. Repeat it. They allow for them way in the back because they don't understand how true that statement is.
But it's interesting when you get out of it.
Definitely.
It is a process.
When you first realize, because I used to say it all the time, I was 19 years old and engaged to a man that reminded me just like my daddy. And I used to tell him all the time, I want somebody like my daddy. I want this, and this out of my daddy. I want this, and this out of my daddy. Not even realizing I'm talking about all the good qualities. I got all them bad qualities
that came
of
with
my father out of him because I'm just looking at the good. I realized, like, yo, I was reaching for the wrong things. My daddy ain't no bad dude, but at the same time, it could have, I call all the negative.
It's like you were blind to it until you weren't.
Until I weren't no more. I don't know what brought me out of it. I don't know what it was, what point made me like hit my head and be like, no more. I don't want nobody like my daddy. I don't want nobody like my mama. I don't want nobody like nobody. I want something I ain't never seen.
Hello.
I want
but that's being intentional.
So unique. I want something so unique.
I got a question. How do you for yourself overcome your struggles with your child's father? Like, how do you deal in your moments of like frustration and in your moments of like, I just can't take it? Because I know I have my moments where I'm just like, I'm ready to rip my hair out of my head, one braid at a time, dealing with this man, this situation, period.
Honestly, I talk to my mom a lot. My mom and my best friend. I talk to them a lot because them two, they keep me grounded. Honestly, without them, I don't know. My mental will be all bad. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I have people that I talk to. I talk it out. I mean,
so you have not only your village for your child, but you have a village for yourself, and that's something that's big too.
That could be separate. That could be a separate village though.
And that's how I'm saying it as too. Yeah. Like, it's not the same as like the village for your child as it is for yourself, because as parents, we normally don't have that the people to talk to, and we could confide in, and we could get a good advice from. Because if it ain't my friends, I honestly don't get advice. Like my mom, she's an old school mama. She don't understand the way that I am with the way that I want to parent and the way that I do things as a parent. So I really don't talk to my mother as much like that about getting advice from her from parenting and stuff like that. So I really go to my friends that has kids, or I just try to figure that shit out myself. Like I'm just on a road trying to figure it out myself. But that's dope that you have that village for yourself. A lot of mothers and a lot of fathers that is active, a lot of fathers that knows what it is to be a real parent. They need that as well.
Yeah. It took me a while to get there. It took me a while because my mom and I for a while we weren't talking. You know what I mean? Because we had our disagreements. But one day we just had a heart to heart, and ever since then it was just like my mom. Even with our arguments, my mom has always been my biggest support system. Always. You know what I mean? And a lot of people can't say that. Example, a lot of people can't say that they can go to their moms for advice or just to have that, hey mom, my mom is here. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that a lot. I really do. And then as far as our relationship has definitely evolved over the last few years for sure.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I
That's
just
truly a blessing
without
to have.
them, I honestly my mental would be a lot worse than what it
That's truly a blessing.
is. Sure. But
I'm
like
trying
with this
to send you guys the
A new link.
a new link because it's gonna end in like a couple minutes. So is it the Renee? Is it the Gmail or iCloud?
You can send it to either one, honestly.
Okay. I don't know why I can't find Victoria's email. Vic, what's your email?
My baby's name,
I don't know why it's not popping up.
NYALYAH. You find it? No? Here, I'm gonna text it to you.
No, is it Simone?
Yeah, 13@gmail.com.
That don't mean y'all be going to go email her now. Don't be going to go send her a bunch of
Yeah,
emails.
nah, don't be doing all that.
That part.
I'll block everybody.
Don't get it twisted.
Block everybody.
Don't get it twisted. We like to thump.
Listen, I likes to tussle.
Right. Especially with all the frustration I got pent up.
Girl. I did send it to y'all.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a smooth little transition.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna stop the recording now.